Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello, welcome back.
So just wanted to make sure that we have it going properly. This is take 2. It's been a day of heavy interference from entities.
Yes, indeed.
Entities, yes. So NATO and allies are going to be readying themselves for Exercise Sea Breeze 21. And this is going to be happening in the Black Sea region. Talk about timing.
Yeah, talk about timing. And I see this over and over and over. When it comes to star alignments, I see this so often. It seems like, well, right now, let's talk about what we got going on. In Vedic astrology, we have Mars and Cancer, close to each other. And not that Mars is bad or Cancer is bad. They're both beautiful entities, but they're not always the happiest when they're together. They're a little uncomfortable because Mars is your courage, your willpower, your stamina, your fight, and Cancer is warm and loving and nourishing, and they both kind of feel a little awkward together.
Well, yeah. So, Cancer is debilitated in Mars and vice versa. And it can make for sticky issues. It can make for accidents. And so that's what we're pointing this out, because like last week, we just had this transit of a UK military vessel, naval vessel, that ended up with a Russian SU bombing ahead of it to warn it to change its course, and which it did. And that was a big, big incident right there. That was a big, big happening. And that was in the Black Sea. That was by Crimea. And here we go again. Now we're going to have full-fledged NATO operations in this area. And this is going to be taking place between June 28th and July 23rd. And when we look at the alignment, it's taking place in this time period. So it feels like if there was any sort of possibility of any sort of accident, it would be amplified with this.
It would be. And one thing I've noticed with alignments is the energies are not always exact on that day. So, you do a little before and a little after, and somewhere in that area, it seems like that's where the energy is going to be.
Yeah. So this is going to be co-hosted by the Ukrainian Navy and the U.S. Navy's 6th Fleet. And this is a biannual, bilateral exercise. There's going to be a lot of traffic in there. You're going to have like 30 countries and tons of ships. It just feels like the timing couldn't be worse, really, to me, to have something of this going on after that incident.
I know. It's something we need to keep an eye on this one.
Yeah, again, we've talked about things such as the Lusitania incident. Those fake banners, those false flags, and, just the right conditions to have issues like that happen. So when I heard of that operation, it got me thinking about this. How many of you guys know, and I've talked about this in the past, but there's always new people coming in, Operation Sea Spray. Have any of you heard of Operation Sea Spray? Well, yeah, it's true. It is real. And this was an operation, a military operation, that once tested biological warfare on all of San Francisco. What? Yeah, no, it's true. It's declassified now. In fact, it turns out the U.S. military carried out 239 secret open-air tests on its own citizens. And so, in this case, one person actually did lose their life. Just a lot of people don't understand what has been going on for a very, very long time. As they released bacteria that was supposed to be harmless, turned out it wasn't perfectly harmless, over San Fran, and 800,000 people exposed to this. But then, look at the Tuskegee Airmen, just for instance. So that big report about UFOs came out. As you see here on military.com, U.S. report can't explain UFOs, but says they're likely real, possibly a national security threat as well. And basically, the whole of this report, which is right here, which only will take you maybe 7 minutes to read, it basically says, yeah, there's some things there. Maybe, they break them down into some different categories. Could be stuff that secretly the Russians and the Chinese are doing. Could be stuff maybe even some contractors of the US is doing. And then there's some stuff that we just have absolutely no explanation for. But you know what? We just need a bigger budget to keep exploring and analyzing.
That's the shocker there. We just need a bigger budget.
Yeah, there's just not enough data is what it boils down to, so we need more money. That's your official conclusion of that.
Yep.
NATO official alarmed by China's shocking rise predicts Beijing to soon be moving its troops all around the globe, in fact. And the statement here is it's quite shocking how quickly China has built ships, how much China has modernized its air force, how much it's invested in cyber and other forms of info management, not at least facial recognition. Yeah. Well, when you look at it, there's a couple things come to mind because, as we know, the U.S. system is not really streamlined. And yes, the U.S. budget might be 3 or 4 times what the Chinese budget is. And it was way more times than that in the past. China has been increasing. But when you look at it, how many $250 hammers does China buy? Or does their hammer actually cost $2.50?
Right.
And same thing with other issues. It's a streamlined system. You saw how quickly those hospitals came up. Some came down, perhaps.
Oops.
But at the same time, when you look at it, it doesn't take as much or as long for them to get things done because the system is totally, totally different. And also add to that fact that the powers that be, the true powers that be that control the financial system of the globe, well, they want to shift power to China in the first place. So, how hard is it to add a digit or two, a couple zeros, maybe a dozen zeros to some bank accounts? And when everything is basically an illusion in the first place, because if there was ever a run, there's not even 10% cash actually printed to cover the money in the banks. So, and then of course we know, about the end of the gold standard and all that. And we do also know too that certain countries are stockpiling gold, including China and Russia. So not really surprising, I don't think, that it's happened that quick, although it does seem like it was a blink of an eye. China all of a sudden has the largest navy in the world. By the way, they reveal plans, that is China, to colonize space with a Mars-based cargo fleet, alien cities, and a sky ladder. And they plan on sending missions every 2 years. So basically they can conquer the red planet. Maybe they're there to help clean and do some housekeeping for the Ijiji.
Yeah, and perhaps, we never know.
Yeah, one of those groups that starts with an I and ends with an I.
That's right.
You guys caught the earlier one today. Maybe even a sky ladder to transport cargo. I wonder if Elon's going to be working with them closely.
I don't know, but that's going to be one long ride.
Yep. So these launches are going to be taking place between 2033 until 2043 as they are planning to conquer the red planet. And meanwhile, we have America bracing for a apocalypse once again in August, unless Congress acts. It seems like we just read this like last month.
Right.
Every year we keep talking about the debt. Well, surpassed 28 trillion. As we said, it's an illusionary system in the first place. However, yeah, the hours you work to pay your taxes, which you send to the IRS, those are real hours. And then where does it go? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe the IM.
Uh-oh. The IMO.
IMF. Yes, think about that. And what's that first I? It's international. Well, dig deeper. UN. Just throwing it out there, guys. Bank of America crashes the transitory party. See up to 4 years of hyperinflation. So, yeah, that temporary hyperinflation glitch is going to probably last 4 years now, according to Bank of America. That'll take us to 2025, where we have some interesting forecasts for that year that have been erased. So, yeah, curious, isn't not what we're seeing?
It's just something that, I mean, these things are going to have to become a way of life. And that's why we're always saying, just be ready, you know, because I think when it does actually hit and people notice it, oh boy, then we need to be ready.
At the start of May, when observing the avalanche of higher inflation mentions on Q1 earning calls, which had quadrupled year over year and jumped by a record 800% year over year, yeah, there's definitely inflation going on out there, and there's going to be shortages. You know, we got from the Galactic Federation again that there's still time, but you're gonna be seeing these inflationary episodes going on. Then you're going to be seeing more and more shortages going on, and then you know you got to be ready to be independent or interdependent on each other,
right,
and not on the GOV.
Right. So putting your energy in yourself or those nearest you to help you through these times is where that energy needs to be pointed.
And Washington State forces nearly everyone to buy long-term health care. You know, the states are going two different ways. As we've seen some of the states like Florida and Texas that are doing things that would encourage you, but keep looking deeply, keep being suspicious, and keep monitoring every single word and letter that gets put into print. SB 2006. Read every single word and letter that's put into print. And that's all we'll say about that one. But yeah, the states are going two ways. One side is going into total control over every aspect of our life, and the other one's trying to back up and say, hey, we need to slow the roll here because we're treading on, we're treading all over the Declaration of Independence, for one. You know, and anything that was originally, and it's interesting how much it's changed when you look at the original, writing, and you look at everything that's been added through administration after administration. We got something totally different now, totally different. So starting January 1st, 2022, initially tax will be 0.58% of employees' wages. Beginning January 1st, 2024, every 2 years thereafter, tax will be at a set rate. Tax on everything. So, and there's no cap. Employers must collect. You know, I'm more libertarian, where it's like if anything more than the absolute bare minimum is too much.
Yep.
Well, yeah, so we're so far past what I find acceptable. And in actuality, it's kind of getting my stomach a little nauseous even looking at that.
I know it is. It's difficult to acknowledge, but we have to acknowledge what's coming at us so we can be ready.
Because it's all about taking away our ability to determine, well, what is my pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness?
It is. It's taking control over it. It is. It's all about control.
So we have now, if something is not working out, you know, there's a rebranding that could happen. Cindy was bringing this up in our first take. You know, rebranding, it can be a sales technique where, you know, you have this new product and you launch it, and, you know, you do a marketing campaign and everything, and it fizzles out.
Yeah.
You know, what was that, Pepsi Zero or Coke One? I don't know.
Zero, One, Pepsi, something.
I haven't drank a soda in over 20 years, so I don't know.
Been a while for me. It hasn't been 20, but it's been quite a long time, many years.
Yeah, it's been at least 20 for me, I would say, somewhere in that range. So there's rebranding that goes on. Well, Sanford professor says treatment provides body-wide genetic upgrade, long-term protection against heart disease, Alzheimer's, and other health conditions. What do
you got to do for that?
All you got to do is get the superhero VA.
Of course something would go out like that, you know, because, yeah, it seems like certain things have fizzled out and you'd want to refresh and renew them.
Well, yeah, wouldn't you want to have some Olympic athlete DNA?
And of course, they would never tell a lie.
No. But, you know, everything that's happening naturally is being duplicated in a upside down, topsy-turvy, inside out, unnatural way.
Right.
I'll go along with Mother Nature, and I'll go along with the cosmic rays coming in this time period and see what that gets me.
Yeah.
As our abilities are increasing. And as I was saying in that one video, do we allow ourselves to go down that zombie route, zombie apocalypse? Or, do you want to be more of a superhero? So there's the artificial and what's happening organically. And again, it's our choice, but we have to stand firm if we want to go the natural route. And that is going to be a challenge.
Right.
And we just wanted to share this new channel on Brighteon. It's called Resonate 963. This is our very own family member, Alicia, who has started this channel, and she is working diligently at it, going to be adding videos on a regular basis. And she's a dear sister and a wonderful soul, and she practices Reiki and Qigong as well as meditation. And do show your love and support and go check out some of her meditations. Her last video, she was so excited. We were talking to her about 3 hours ago. Urgent message about our food supply. We need to work towards food sovereignty to survive what is coming. And as you can see, her views are looking up.
Yes.
So let's give her some love and check out Resonate 963.
Yes.
Thank you guys for being part of the family. Make sure you are subscribed, have the bell click for notifications, thumbs up to support this channel as well, and share as much as you can. Thank you for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon, because we couldn't do it without you guys. If you need an appointment, it's evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com or EEARTS@protonmail.com, and check out our website, evolutionaryenergyarts.com. And there's other things upcoming I will be sharing in the next couple of days that may interest some of you guys as well. As always, stay prepared out there. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.